Mealy trying to find some room around her teammate Vernon. But it looks like Vernon is stronger, and Vernon starts to pull away now. Vernon into the final 20 meters. And Kate Vernon, the top seed, is going to outlast her teammate Kaki Mealy and win the girls' mile run right at 5 minutes.
Yep, 5 minutes even, and just a great race from those two. Wow, 1-2, same school, and they just ran it hard. They took off at that. You saw them take off at the half-mile mark, opened up a little lead. Morelli tried to run with them there for a little bit, and then when the last lap came, it was all theirs. Pushed each other through it and picked up the win.
A tremendous comeback by Alexandra Lewis of Bentworth. The freshman came from nowhere to take third. But Kate Vernon of Gwynedd Mercy, a 1-2 finish for Gwynedd Mercy. Don't think that won't help their cause in the team points.
Plus, they already got 10 points in a relay.
Right.
And they have top seeds in the 800 and probably the 4x4. So an opportunity for them to pick up a state championship. As we mentioned before, sometimes 30, 40 points is all you really need. Here they come down the stretch, and this is where you see Vernon just pull away a little bit. It was a great race from Mealy trying to hang on, but Vernon has the leg speed for the final 100 yards, and she picks up the win with her teammate Mealy in second place.
Kate Vernon of Gwynedd Mercy, part of that relay team that won a gold earlier today, so she has yet another gold medal to add to her collection here in Shippensburg today. And Lewis, again, wearing that yellow jersey with number 8 on her side. What a comeback for her, the freshman out of nowhere to take third. So we go to the AAA girls mile run, and Loretta Dzube will be looking for her second individual gold of the day. She won the 2-mile run earlier in a 10:34, and her seed time, and we're actually looking at the 200 lane assignments there. I can tell you that Dzube's seed time was under 5. She ran a 4:59.13 yesterday to qualify as the top seed. There you see her as the top seed. Coons, remember we brought her up earlier in our discussion of the 3,200. Here she is in the mile run. She's the second seed, and she'll start on the outer with Drozdowski of Crestwood, Sakay of Council Rock, who's had a great cross-country career, Kylie Schuler of Chambersburg, Katie Garner of Cheltenham, and Alex Kelby of Conestoga. On the inner, it's Dzube, Sarah Roberts of Perkiomen Valley, Kristen Reed of Upper Perkiomen, Erin Crimner Hart of Slippery Rock, Andrea Florida of Muhlenberg, and Sam McMillan of Hershey.
Well, Frances Coons, despite being seated second, is, I would have to think, the favorite, coming in here with the fastest time in the state. That she ran 4:49.85. That's just a wonderful time. The state cross country champion, second in the 3,200 in this meet last year. I just, even though Dzube is the returning champion, I just think the upper hand is into Coons.
What about this young woman, though, Sakay? I mean, she has had a very illustrious career herself. We've seen her have a lot of success on the track and also cross country.
She didn't run this race last year, 7th the year before, and you're right. Kay really has battling some injuries, which is commonplace, and it's really good to see her back running right now. Yeah, has the potential. I mean, she's certainly a quality runner. There's no doubt about it. Goes through in 70 seconds, and that's about a 4:40 pace if they carry it out. And we'll see if she can hold on to that. I just think, though, Coons has really just through cross country and running in some national meets has just really proven herself. She is in second place there, as you see now. Just an outstanding runner, but who knows?
Don't forget, Dzube is also the defending champion of this event, along with her gold medal earlier today in the 3,200. But it is Sakay, and by a pretty wide margin over Coons right now as we approach the halfway point. Coons is in the yellow, and she's in second, and then they fan back from there. A tightly bunched pack from third on back. There you see the race for third. There in the middle, Kristen Reed. She is in third, being led by Coons, but that is Sakay.
Well, I think Sakay's strategy here is I'm going to get out in front and see what happens. I have this chance. If I lead from start to finish, no one can catch me if I get out hard, and that's what she's done here.
Coming down on 2 laps to go, still Sakay. She looks good. She is in good control of this. Coons pushing now. Here comes Dzube out of 4th, and also making a push is Reed. But So Kay starting to lose a little bit of ground now as Kuhn starts to make her move halfway through the race.
Now, Sakay went 75 on that lap after going to 70 in the first lap. So they come in at 225, which puts them about a 450 pace. Let's see if they can hold on to that. We do know Kuhn's is running that. Sakay's best coming in is, here it is, a 5:02.7, capable of it. And there you see that in a blink of an eye. The lead changed. I went down to see what Kay ran so far this year, and
Kuhn's checked in.
Kuhn's checked in, yep.
So Kuhn's with the lead. Kuhn's really opening it up here on the third lap. There you see the distance, probably about 30 to 40 meters now. No one around Kuhn's, who did not run this event last year, and opting instead to go for the 3,200 last year.
And doing it in a way that relaxed through the first two laps, did not get excited when Kay went out. She said, I got my race, I know what I'm doing, taking off on the third part of this race, and now she'll just run hard coming back for the final lap. Let's see what it is.
Nobody around Kuhn's. There you see the race for second right now between Kay and also Kristen Reed. 3:37 is what she came across the line in, Greg, and now she has one lap to go. The state record time of 4:41.08 by Kim Gallagher. That will not fall today, but certainly a sub-5 time, very much within her reach.
Well, she'll be in the 40s, and she came back with a 71 on that lap, which is pretty amazing for the third lap. And I think she has the capability of running in the low 40s here today, which is still an outstanding effort. And she's done this by herself. 2 laps with everybody and 2 laps by herself. Now, she's just strong. There is just strong.
This is domination. She made the pass over Kay right at the halfway point of the race, and she has never looked back. On pace for a mid-440 time.
I think she'll get her best time here. Her best time was 4:49.85. I think she'll go 47 here. She can just, and she is. She's just coming down, looking really good coming down here too. Up on her toes, sprinting, getting her knees up and running hard.
The crowd on its feet, saluting Frances Kuhns of Allentown Central Catholic. She is the gold medalist in the AAA mile run at a 4:48.5.
Well, and then again, her best time of the year, and what a great place to do it, to pick up the gold medal.
Second place, by the way, going to Reed. And it looked like third place went to Roberts, but we'll have to check the photo. But what a dominant effort by Frances Kuhns of Allentown Central Catholic. Another gold medal to add to her war chest.
Yep, they just keep coming for her. And the cross-country championship, and now this, and ran a great leg in the 4x800, so it's just been a pretty good day so far.
It's not over yet.
Now here she comes, and again, the form is good, and this is the final sprint, as she looks like a sprinter there, got up on her toes and her knees going up, and she claims the state championship with that run.
Here's the race for third, by the way, and we may be going to the FAT on that one. I believe that was, well, we'll have to check. A little difficult to tell from that angle.
As we mentioned, we're getting instant results, and you can too if you go to the PIAA website and PIAA.org and get into the track and field area. You can get the results almost immediately this year. It's taken them maybe 2 minutes after each race, and they're up here. It's truly amazing.
AA boys mile run, and we're going to have another rematch here of an excellent race that we saw in the 3,200. It's already underway. David Mock and Jake Strayer are the top seeds. Mock starting on the inner with Jake Strayer. The rest of the field, Jacob Walker of Elwood City, Caleb Fritz of Northwest area, Ryan Place of Elk Lake, Matt McGillen of Springfield, Chris Spooner of Lewisburg is back, Sam Weiser of Elwood City, Grant Allen of Eisenhower, Corey Spadell of Marion Center, David Sanford of Central Columbia, and Sebastian Ortiz of Columbia. And Spooner already 200 meters into it has opened up about a 10-meter lead.
Well, Spooner and Mock have already gone at it, and Spooner lost to Mock this past year by 7 seconds in the state meet. And then there's with Mike Booth there, who's gone 4:07 and beat Spooner, who ran 4:09 on the same day. There's some great runners out here right now.
State record of 4:03.22. Paul Vandegrift of Archbishop Kennedy had it. In 1987, one of the rare state records where the AA state record time is actually better than the AAA state record time.
Well, David Mock's going to follow in Vandergrift's footsteps, going to William & Mary College. By the way, if you want to see Spooner run next year, Duke will be the place for him. And so he's going after this one.
Yeah, Spooner, boy, looking strong in that backstretch. No one even around him as we approach the halfway point.
It's a pretty interesting strategy just to go out in those first 2 laps and run like crazy. And this is just where the miles and miles and miles that he put in starting last year about this time after the state meet was over starts to pay off because you have the strength to do that. We'll check to see what his half-mile time is going through here.
The rest of the field makes the turn now, but Spooner is already halfway down the front stretch. And Spooner is going to come to the start-finish line. We'll keep an eye on the clock. 2 laps to go, and Spooner went out in a 2:03.5, so maybe we can have under a 4:10 here out of Spooner.
Well, that's certainly what I believe, trying to do in this one. It's amazing. You have Caleb Fritz in this race, too, was second last year. It's just a quality field. Actually, Fritz was second the past 2 years, remarkably. Corey Spidell was 6th last year, Spooner 4th, and last year 5th the year before, Strayer 5th last year. What a field. What a field.
Well, you know what? Fritz is second again this year and distancing himself from the chase pack, but Spooner all alone. 50-meter lead right now for Chris Spooner.
And this was the third lap. The lap they had to make the move on, and he went with it too. Spooner just said, I'm going out and after it. And like we saw earlier on in the 3200, Fitzgerald running by himself, Spooner is all out by himself, and you wouldn't expect that in this race.
So Chris Spooner coming down on 1 lap to go. We'll keep an eye on the clock again. He's at 3 minutes right now as Spooner is about halfway down the front stretch. Can he go under 4:10? It's going to be a hard effort for him. He's at 3:10 right now, so he'd have to go around in a 60. Caleb Fritz in second, and third place belongs to Sam Weiser.
It's going to be tough, I think, just by the way he ran that race, for him to come back with a 60. But I think he's going to be in the low, 11 or 12 or 13, and there's no way anyone's going to catch him. I think he could just turn around and take a look right now and still maintain. He still has the 800 to run, and he still has the 4x4 to run also.
State record of 4:03.22. There you see the official time being kept in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. 200 meters to go for Chris Spooner, with Caleb Fritz trying to make a late push, but Chris Spooner, what a dominant day he has had so far, and he isn't even halfway through his day yet. Crowd rises to its feet to salute Spooner, just as they did a moment ago with Coons. And Chris Spooner is going to add to his collection of medals here at Shippensburg as he comes to the line. Chris Spooner, AA mile run champion, as he wins it in just under a 4:14. Here's a race for second, and it's going to be David Mock coming from behind to beat out Fritz for second, and Fritz will end up settling for third.
Well, a great last lap coming out of Spooner. Ran a 63, and again, I'm not sure that's how I thought he was going to run the race, but he knows better than me, and his coach knows better than me, because I thought maybe they'd go out and just try to play it with the rest of the crowd and use the speed at the end, but wow, he went from the gun and took the lead, built the lead early, and never relinquished. And just a strong run and a great win for Key Spooner here, his second win of the day.
Wow. And more team points for Lewisburg, too. And, we'll try to keep you abreast of the team standings throughout the rest of the day, as we're getting to the point now where that whole situation could clarify itself pretty soon. But hey, still plenty of time here at Shippensburg, and a lot of action still to go on the track and in the field. But Chris Spooner picking up that relay gold earlier today in the 4x8, and now he has an individual gold in the mile run for Lewisburg.
Actually, I said Mike Booth and Ian Fitzgerald, or rather Chris Spooner, but it was Fitzgerald and Booth that went head-to-head, and Mike Booth winning that one over Fitzgerald. This race is coming up right now.
And here are the top seeds, with Craig Miller of Manheim Township turning in the low seed time of 4:16.74. He'll start in the inner with James O'Toole of Mount Lebanon, Mike Footeman of Wilson, Dan McNally of Delaware Valley, Stephen Krause of William Tennant, and Jeff Weiss of McGuffey. Starting on the outer will be Brian Fuller of Cumberland Valley, Mike Booth of West Mifflin, Ryan Rich of Easton area, John Barkley of Upper Moreland, and Jay Harding of State College. We have a false start in the mile, or did somebody behind the action fire off their gun not ready to start?
I'm not sure. Clarence,
I was looking down, honestly.
Yeah, I was looking over my notes before the start. I don't see him taking anybody out. Clarence Crawford, longtime starter here, has been here since the early 80s, and no one disqualified, Mike. So
someone must not have been ready.
Yeah.
There you see Clarence Crawford.
Good.
Fair start this time. Yeah, someone must not have been ready behind the action. I want to mention, by the way, C.J. Harding of State College in here. Get well wishes to Bob Bumbach, the State College boys track and field coach. My understanding, Bob's a little bit under the weather. I hope to see him back here next year. Good guys in coaching, and his runner, Jay Harding, right in the middle of that pack right now, with Craig Miller as well from Manheim Township. State record of 4:09.61. Sam Bear of Shaler set it 2 years ago.
And we saw that unfold, saw that race 2 years ago. This is a great field, too. Miller, of course, the state cross-country champion, finished third in this race last year as a freshman, set the freshman national record with that race. Mike Booth, who has already run a 4:07.71 back on the 7th of May, is an incredible, that time there. And Rich Ryan, who was 7th last year. Booth, by the way, did not run in this race. James O'Toole, 6th in cross-country. He was 6th in the 3,200 last year. You got Brad Miller, which is Craig Miller's brother in this race. And Jeff Wise, 4th in cross-country. Dan McNally, 5th here last year. Jay Harding, as you mentioned, 8th here last year. Anybody's race at this stage of the game.
And here goes Booth with Miller coming around to join him. Harding is in 3rd right now as they approach the backstretch. 2.5 laps to go. The 1,600-meter run boys AAA. Mike Booth, a senior from West Mifflin, out in the Pittsburgh area, with a hair color to match the yellow in Titans, and good color coordination on his part today, I must say. As Miller comes around with him, Harding's still there. Nice run by Harding, as is James O'Toole having a nice run as well. O'Toole was the 3rd seed.
Just playing each other out here. Unlike the last race, when Spooner just went for broke from the gun, this one is sort of settling in and becoming more strategic as they come up to the half-mile mark, and a little slower than what Spooner went through. This is at 2:08, 2:07, 2:08.
Footeman charging through there as well, as is Miller. And now Miller has made the pass, so Booth has lagged back, and now Miller trying to check out here as we're more than halfway through this mile run. Booth really falling back. And here is a strong effort on the backstretch by Miller. The top seed ran a 4:16.74 yesterday.
Ran 4:14 last week, set a new district record held by Steve Spence, long-time record. Of course, Spence, the Olympian marathoner and the head track and cross-country coach here at Shippensburg. Flew back from his national meet to see this today. And Miller, big lead now, and this guy too is, as a sophomore, this has been a truly amazing career so far in just 2 years of running.
Coming down on 1 lap to go. Miller looking for a personal best time, trying to hold off James O'Toole, and now here comes Footeman again, and Harding still there in 4th place. But now Miller pouring it on as he makes the turn. Approaching 300 meters to go, and Miller going for a sub-4:10 time.
62 seconds on the 3rd lap, and again, that's just great strategy. Just played with the pack, ran with the pack for 2 laps, and then took off in the 3rd lap, ran a 62, and he's still running hard. Coming down the backstretch, still running hard, though. His head's starting to double a little bit here. I hope that doesn't mean he's getting too tired. Obviously, he's tired. You don't run that fast and not be tired.
Jay Harding in 2nd, and then there's Footeman for 3rd. But Miller is well clear right now as Harding tries to make a late push, and unless Miller completely runs out of gas, he is going to be in gold medal position.
It's just a matter of what his time's going to be. Now hold it together, Craig, as you come down the line here. 4 minutes is coming up right now, so it's still going to be a decent time. It's going to be in the hard to break 4:10.
Could it be a state record?
Here we go. 7, 8, 9. Not a bad race at all.
He's going to be darn close, and here's the race for 2nd, and it is a photo for 2nd. Wow. 3-way tie for 2nd, and we'll wait for the official time to be put up on Miller. Very, very close to a state record, which is set 2 years ago by Sam Baer.
Well, sometimes you look at the scoreboard clock here. That is not official. So we'll have to wait for the official from the FAT. We're going to look at it here as the scoreboard clock would have it at 4:09.3, which would be the record.
Right.
But we'll have to wait for the official results from the FAT to make it right.
They'll post it in just a moment. Certainly by the unofficial clock, it looked like he had it by 0.3 of a second. 4:09.33 is the official winning time. It is a state record for Craig Miller. Here's the race for second.
Wow.
We'll go to the FAT on that one.
You know, and that'll be, the FAT sells those pictures and they put it toward a scholarship fund. If you liked any of those pictures, but that'd be a great one to have, because they're going to have to look at that one closely to tell you who was in that position, second, third, and fourth.
So another state record has fallen on the track this afternoon.
I'm not sure that's official up there, though, what they put up there. I think we're going to have to wait to see
We'll
what this one.
see.
Yeah, because that is so close with that one. But a great race from Craig Miller, and we saw you saw the runners take off, and Spooner in the mile and the 1600 double A taking off and controlling the race from the beginning, and then Miller there at the beginning of the third lap just going for broke and taking off and ran a great race.
What a beautiful day for the 2004 State Track and Field Championships here at Seth Grove Stadium. Along with Greg Hoover, Gary Aldridge joining us as well, Mike Conti with you. Plenty more to come here on PCN. 3 hours of live coverage still to come, including plenty of action from the field. Still on the track, we have the 400-meter dash, the 4x1 relay, the 300 hurdles, 800, 200, and the 4x4. Don't go anywhere.
Wow, that's just it. This is where it gets fast and furious now.
All right, here are the lane assignments for the AA girls 400. This is once around the track, and Abigail Johnson representing that always formidable Milton Hershey program is in lane 1. Liz Hall of Wyomissing in lane 2. Maura Ryan of Gwynedd Mercy in lane 3. Lacey Cochran of Freeport in lane 4. She was second here last year to Maggie Borden, who has since graduated. Abby Montgomery of Hughesville in lane 5. Rachel Moxley of Littlestown in lane 6. Rachel Hepkins of Delaware County Christian in lane 7. And Sandy Newell, I should say, of Elk County Catholic in lane 8. This is where the distance runners kind of meet the sprinters, isn't it?
Yeah, there is a collection of that. I think there's a couple ways of doing this. 400, if you have a real good 100, 200 runner and you put some strength behind them from a little distance running, you can make them really good 400 runner. And then, but if you have a good 400 runner, you can put a little strength behind them, make them a really good 800 runner too. So it's either way you look at it. But this is a grueling race. It's still referred to as a dash. So 400 meters, you're dashing. That's a long way to sprint. In the 800, you get a little chance to relax, but in the 400, you just got to go out and hold on to it.
As I mentioned, Maggie Borden of DeLone Catholic, 57-13, won it last year. Cochran, top returner, who was the runner-up last year. In fact, Abigail Johnson, as a freshman last year, was third in this event. So, kind of a familiar feel to this event, aside from the departure of Maggie Borden. And Cochran had the low seat time of 57-19 yesterday. 55-50 the state record. Layla Brock of Washington set that back in 1996. Johnson. And there you get a look at Cochran on the right side of your screen, fanning back to Ryan, Hall, and Johnson. A fair start. And eating up the stagger in lane 7 is Rachel Hepkins of Delaware County Catholic. Boy, really just eating up that stagger on the backstretch. And in lane 4, here comes Lacey Cochran with Abby Montgomery with her in lane 5. Tightening up now. They'll be able to break the stagger momentarily. We'll get a better picture, but all the way out in lane 7, Hepkins did a good job of eating up that stagger, but Cochran is there in lane 4. There you get a look at Hepkins. They make the final turn. 100 meters to go. Hepkins trying to hold everyone off in lane 7, but here comes Lacey Cochran in lane 4. Cochran was the runner-up last year. They're at the top of the stretch now, and Cochran, if she can hold on to it, would have the victory. But here comes Hepkins again, making a push in lane 7. Cochran desperately trying to hold off Hepkins. They come to the line, and Lacey Cochran wins the gold medal in a time between 56 and 56.5.
Cochran has that style where she throws her head back and just runs, and that's what she did. And again, the other thing that makes this a tough race, it's a lane race. You got to run in your lanes the whole way. So when you're out in lane 7 and 8 like that, that's a tough race for them to do, because you don't know where you're at in comparison. If you're in the inside lanes, you do have an idea where everybody's running. The top seats, you know, they're going to go into the middle lanes, 3, 4, and 5 is where you find your top seats, but 7 you're out there a little bit. But still a great race and a big win for Cochran as she, you know, goes taking a second, taking a third the year before. So she went 3, 2, and 1. I guess that's how you're supposed to do it.
Not bad.
Yeah, here it comes. And you see it, and that's how she runs the whole way. Her head's back, a little swing in the body as she goes back and forth there, but she sure can run, and she's going to pick up her first gold medal in this event.
It looks like she's struggling the way that her head is back, but that truly is not the case.
And a lot of times, Mike, that's a great point. That's a good sign that you are tired. You just throw your head back and your body starts going left and right, but not with her. That's just how she runs. And obviously wasn't too tired.
No. Not at all. Here are the lane assignments for the AAA girls 400-meter dash. Caitlin Hewitt of Greater Latrobe is in lane 1, with Melissa Miller of Athens area in lane 2. Jenna Kipp of Downingtown West in lane 3. Caitlin Brown of Shenley, top seed, in lane 4. Erica Moody of Oakland Catholic is in lane 5. Then Kelly Lengens of North Allegheny in lane 6. Kate Orchowski of Upper St. Clair in lane 7. Megan Wolf of Owen J. Roberts in lane 8. I feel lost, Greg, because here we are, 4th year of doing the track meet, and no Tiffany Abney.
Yeah, I knew you were going there with that. Yeah, that's what a great career we saw out of Tiffany Abney, and it does seem strange not having her here, but I think some people would be questioning if she was back for her 5th year. So.
That would raise some red flags, I'm sure. Yes, Abney, the defending champion of this event. Caitlin Brown, who is the top seed this year, was second to Abney last year, but by a second. Abney culminating a dominant track and field career for Marion Mercy last year. And now maybe a more wide open field this year with Brown, the sophomore, as the top seed.
This is really hard to call, because when Brown came into this one, she was only seeded 11th coming out of the district meet, and it is wide open. Ashley Hodge had the top seed coming out of the districts, but this one is wide open. It's you know, this is an obvious statement, but whoever runs right now will come through.
That's Megan Wolf of Owen J. Roberts. She starts in lane 8. As a runner, would you prefer starting on the outside?
No way. Again, you can't see what's going on. You have no clue where everybody's at in that one. And plus, it's psychological to me, maybe not to them, but you're way out there. You're running farther, at least you think you are.
It's not taking Brown long to make up the stagger, and a good start as well in lane 6 by Langens. Moody is there as well in lane 5, and peeking out is Orchowski in lane 7. But Caitlin Brown looking strong in lane 4, wearing the orange colors for Shenley. On her outside is Moody in lane 5. A good 4-woman lead pack here. 100 meters to go now, and trying to peek out in lane 7 is Orchowski, but Brown is in good shape in lane 4. Can Mooney provide a push here in the final 100? Brown looking solid in lane 4. In lane 2, Melissa Miller very much there. It's Miller and Caitlin Brown. Here comes Kip in lane 3. Not enough time, though. And Caitlin Brown of Shenley, the silver medalist last year, the gold medalist this year.
Just a junior, and you know, that's pretty amazing. Both races, the runner-ups come through to win, and both ran really good races. Nothing, you know, with the trouble with the 400, you don't really see where they turn on the speed because of the stagger. But she just ran a solid race the whole way through, was in great position at the 200, and came on home.
So Brown, just a sophomore, is the gold medalist here in 2004 after finishing second to Abney last year. Here's another look at the finish.
Yep, just and no one there, coming out of the 4th lane, the top seed, and made good of that from yesterday's semis, and into first place. Again, the 400, it's another race where you have to run tryouts to get to the finals. Try to get you to the final 8, and that makes it tough. Be interesting next year, Mike. This meet becomes just a tad bit bigger. We haven't talked about the induction of the Philadelphia schools into the meet next year. They are going to expand it. In other words, this year where there's 18 positions, at least 18 positions, next year is going to be at least 24. So that means there's going to be a few more trials and a few more heats to get people to the finals.
Plus the infusion of new talent. I mean, when people ask you what kind of impact Philadelphia Public League will have in this event, it's going to be pretty big. We'll talk more about that later. In the meantime, here are the lane assignments for the boys AA 400. Jim Dubinsky of St. Pius, the 10th in lane 1, and Phil Lynn-Weber of Christian School York in lane 2, Tony Prudente of Lakeland in lane 3, and then Michael Coe, Joey Wagner, Sean Strauman, Julius Eggleston, and Zach Snyder. Top seed, Coe at a 49.32, state record of 46.36. Mike Spangler of Southwestern set that in 1984.
This is where Pennsylvania track fans are really, really good. Besides getting into the meet so much, they know in this race they have to be quiet at the start, and they do that. You got the starters way out there on a box using a microphone, as you see Bob Hurricane out there now to start the double-A boys. And but it's still, you know, for this guy in lane 1, it's really tough to hear sometimes. But the crowd gets quiet and lets the official do his job.
There's Dubinsky and our top seed, Michael Coe. Fair start. Coe got out nicely, as did Eggleston in lane 7, and a good start as well in lane 2 for Lynn-Weber of Christian School York. Coe is in the mix, as is Wagner in lane 5. Wagner, the junior from Biglerville, leading up the stagger on the backstretch, as is Strauman in lane 6. But Wagner with an excellent run, and now here comes Coe making a push along with Prudente and Lynn-Weber. And Eggleston peeks out again in lane 7. Anyone's race here with about 150 meters to go. They make the turn for home. Joey Wagner of Biglerville out in front. Here comes Michael Coe. Anyone a four can win it now as Prudente and Lynn-Weber are there. And Michael Coe takes over on the front stretch. Michael Coe going at it with Wagner. They come to the line. Coe and Wagner. And it is too close to call.
It looked like Coe let up just a little bit at the end, and Wagner got him, because Wagner, and that's the advantage of being in second there. Wagner knew he's letting up. Bang, right past him he went. Wagner led from the start of this one and looked like he might have expended too much in the first 200, but he came back when he had to come back there right at the end. Now that'll be a good one to see.
The way Wagner's reacting.
I think he won it. Let's watch it here again. Here we come down the finish. You see the little slow up, and Wagner shoots across torsos there first, and Wagner from Biglerville will get the win.
Coe really laboring here.
Yes. And it took his toll about right there, about 2 yards too short for Coe to hold on. Couldn't hold on. He wanted it to be over there, and it wasn't, and that's how Wagner picks up the win.
What a race. Joey Wagner of Biglerville. Hey, they're both juniors, so we may see a rematch next year between Coe and Wagner. We'd certainly hope, but outstanding AA boys 400-meter dash effort there. And Wagner, obviously pending verification of the FAT, but our replays seem to indicate that he was the winner of that event.
Shoot up to 1600 yet?
Not yet. We're still waiting on that for verification. If the state record did fall in the AAA 1600, they're getting that up to us from the 10 in a moment. So we'll know for sure. We know at least one state record has fallen today so far in the track. Here are the lane assignments for the AAA boys 400. Kevin Michaud of Pennsbury will be in lane 1. Andre Burton of William Tennant in lane 2. Ben McConnell of Danville in lane 3. Tracy Robinson, Westchester Henderson in lane 4. Steve Stern of Parkland in lane 5. Jerome Ward of Penn Manor in lane 6. And then Harrisburg teammates David Potts and Alex Moore in lane 7 and 8 respectively. Drew Ekman, defending champion, graduated Cohen Mills of Abington, who was the runner-up last year, not in the event this year. Michaud, the top returner, who took third last year. Top seed of 49.04, turned in by McConnell yesterday. And the state record of 46.27 set 21 years ago by Clinton Davis of Steel Valley. As you get a look at Tracy Robinson, he's our top seed. 48.52. His time coming into it. But this one seems to be wide open. That's Burton. And another fair start. And a good jump by McConnell in lane 3, taking Burton with him in lane 2. Burton trying to eat up some of that stagger. And a good start as well in lane 4 by Robinson, but Burton doing very nicely to make up the stagger in lane 2, already trying to pull even with some of the runners in the middle lanes. And also there is Alex Moore in lane 8. Halfway through it now, looks like Burton's got the lead in lane 2. As Moore peeks out in lane 8, but he has the benefit of the stagger. They'll come to the top of the stretch, 100 meters to go, and now here comes Kevin Michaud in lane 1. Kevin Michaud turning it up. He was third here last year, and here's Michaud trying to hold off Robinson now, who's coming on strong in lane 4. Robinson makes the pass of Michaud as they come to the line, and it's going to be Robinson winning the gold in a time around a 47.5. Tracy Robinson comes from behind to win it.
That's not, Robinson came in with one of the best times in the state, running a 48.31. So, that was an expectation, I guess, but just a great race today. Lane 1, Michaud made a move at about the 250 mark that was amazing, and suddenly he shot into first place, coming like a slingshot coming around the curve, shot out there in the first place, ends up in third place, but he made that race interesting for a few minutes, or a few seconds, I guess I should say. It didn't take more than a minute, did it?
And Michaud gets the gold medal. Here's the finish. I beg your pardon, Robinson gets the gold medal.
Yeah, he knew he won it there as he crosses the line, and just pure athlete there, the upper body strength, and his legs just propelled him across that, and a great time. I'm not sure, we'll have to check that official time too, but I think it might be his best of the year, and if it's under 48, that's pretty slick.
It'll be an honor roll time, no doubt about that. So Tracy Robinson of Westchester Henderson gets his first gold medal of the day. So we are set now for what is, in my opinion, the most exciting event of the day on the track. The 4x1 relay, where anything can happen. Leads change all the time. Often you have the heartbreak of a drop baton or a bad exchange coming into play in this one. But this always seems to generate the most excitement. It means a lot in terms of team points, because those relay points are always extremely valuable for any team trying to win a state championship.
Well, I agree with you that it is a very exciting race, and that anything can happen, and anything usually does in these things, and that's what makes it so interesting. It does combine a lot of things. You have to have someone that's able to start. You have to have the ability to have the handoffs, and they have to be slick. They mean everything in this one, and then you have to have that person at the end that can run like the wind, because either someone's coming, or he needs to catch somebody, or she needs to catch somebody.
Seth Grove Stadium here at Shippensburg University, and as we've mentioned a couple times today, you just could not ask for a better day weather-wise. Temperatures in the low to mid-70s, not all that humid, nice breeze, and not a cloud in the sky. Just absolutely sensational weather as the teams in the infield rehearse their exchanges, and here come the AA teams onto the track. Defending champion Milton Hershey, but they have had to deal with a lot of losses due to graduation. Milton Hershey ran a 50-34 in qualifying to get the number 3 seed in this event. Here are the lane assignments. Burl will be in lane 1 with Gwynedd Mercy in lane 2. Quaker Valley in lane 3. Lewisburg will be in lane 4, 49.59. They were the only team yesterday to go sub 50 and almost went sub 49.5. And Elmer Elmires, Milton Hershey, Farrell, and St. Pius X. state record of 48.70. Milton Hershey set that in 1999.
See, I think with the preliminaries in the 4x100, you can go out and run hard. Though the other thing about that is those people running in the 4x1, some of those guys are also running 100 trials, 200 trials, 400 trials, and so it's hard. It's one of those catch things. You want to save some energy from on Friday so that you can expend it all today, but at the same time, I don't know that you can in the 4x100 because it's so quick, and you got to be there. You got to run your best even in the trials.
Robinson's official winning time, by the way, in the AAA Boys 400 is posted at a 48.26, by the way, just to get you up to date on some of the other official times. Joey Wagner's official winning time of 49.09 in the AA Boys 400. AAA Girls 400, Brown's winning time of 56.26. And in AA Girls, it was Cochran with a 56.99. Those are the official winning times. They still have not posted the official winning times for the mile run in Boys AAA, where we are reasonably sure that a state record has been broken pending official verification. So we get ready for another relay, a sprint relay. Gwynedd Mercy in lane 2 and Burl in lane 1. There you see the Gwynedd Mercy runner. They're going to give these teams as much time as they need to get comfortable and to get the exchange zone officials in position as well.
And this is a tough one to judge if you're exchange zone official, because with 8 teams coming in there, bang bang, and you've got one end and the other end to look at, it's sometimes tough to see it all. And there's a couple officials at each location, but it's still not the easiest thing in the world to judge.
So here we go. From right to left, or left to right, I should say. Lewisburg, Quaker Valley, Gwynedd Mercy, and Burl.
Interesting enough, this was the start at 1:20, so they're a little bit ahead of schedule. Not much, but a little bit.
Fair start and a good jump in lane 7 by Farrell. St. Pius X there in lane 8, and Milton Hershey. What a scintillating opening leg for them in lane 6. We're into the first exchange zone. Milton Hershey passed off first, and we have white flags, clean exchanges. Milton Hershey in lane 6 has the lead heading into the second exchange zone. Lewisburg is there in lane 4, as is St. Pius X in lane 8. Second set of exchanges, and again, Milton Hershey passed off first, but now Lewisburg eating up the stagger in lane 4. Milton Hershey and Lewisburg with Elmer L. Myers in the picture. Final set of exchanges now. They come to the top of the stretch, and it's Lewisburg. Gwynedd Mercy pushing in lane 2. Lewisburg trying to hold everyone off. Here's a late push by Quaker Valley in lane 3, but it's going to be Lewisburg. Lewisburg wins the gold medal in a time around of 49, and looking around the track, we have white flags everywhere. It will stand.
Well, that's why Lewisburg was the #1 seed, and they showed it there. Didn't have a bad handoff in the whole run, and that led them to where they needed to be. With you got the ace with the baton coming down the stretch, and they ran a quality time too. Just a great race. This race is interesting, in the 4x100. In the other 2 relay races, your runners cannot use that fly or the accelerated zone, meaning they can't be outside of the 20-yard exchange zone. But here they can to try to pick up some speed. Got to get the baton inside the exchange zone. That doesn't mean you have to be in there, but the baton has to be in there, and it has to be handed off, can't be thrown. And you can, if you drop the baton, you can pick it up, but you just can't interfere with anybody when you do that. And that time, no drop batons, clean exchanges, and there comes Lewisburg down the stretch. Nobody near them, and they pick up the win. That's a big lead in this race.
Yes, no doubt about that, especially after Milton Hershey had a very good opening leg. They opened up about a 5 to 10 meter advantage at the first exchange zone, but Lewisburg came back for the win. We'll see defending champion Upper Darby here in the AAA 4x100 meter relay. Upper Darby is the second seed coming into this event, second to Penn Hills, who, of course, is a good stable of sprinters as well. Penn Hills earlier today getting some good results in the 100. And here are the lane assignments: William Tennant, Neshaminy, Strathaven, Penn Hills, Upper Darby, Coatesville, Easton, and West Perry, respectively, from lane 1 to lane 8. Top seed time 47.77. Penn Hills had it yesterday. 46.39 by Harry S. Truman is the state record.
And again, anybody's race in this one is always the case. The lane assignments are up, and you saw them. Still waiting for those 1600 results.
It is an arduous wait. Here you see the Penn Hills entry in lane 4. They had a state champion earlier today in the 100 hurdles. In lane 3, Strathaven. Here we go.
Starter William Laswell with the gun.
And another fair start, and Strathaven starts to make up the stagger in lane 6. Also there in lane 2 is Neshaminy. Here we are to the first exchange zone. Strathaven will pass off first, and on the outside, West Perry got a clean handoff as well in lane 8, and we have white flags, so we're good so far. In lane 7, here comes Easton area with Coatesville making a push in lane 6. Second exchange zone now. West Perry passed off first in lane 8, but now here comes Penn Hills in lane 4. They're the top seed coming into it, and they're starting to open it up. Here's the final exchange. Penn Hills passed off first, and now we're into the final 100. Penn Hills and Neshaminy in lane 2. Here comes Upper Darby in lane 5. Big push by Upper Darby, but Penn Hills will be able to hold on and win it. Upper Darby had a great anchor leg, but it was Penn Hills with too much of an advantage there when that final exchange was made.
Well, fortunately for Penn Hills, the distance was that much because Upper Darby came running through the end, and that was just a great race from all those teams. And again, you know, it's been pretty amazing. We've gone through 2 races, and every handoff has been pretty slick. And that's the key to this race.
Penn Hills, more gold medals for that program today. And no one around her, at least from that angle. Upper Darby made a nice push. Upper Darby, of course, the defending state champions. Neshaminy ends up
I'm sure that was
third.
Bridgeford, the 100-meter champ.
Without
I know
question.
It was, yeah, coming down there and showed her 100 speed, but just did not get the baton quick enough.
On to the boys 4x100 meter relay. More excitement here on the track. This gets better as the day goes on. Still to come, we'll have the boys 4x1 300 meter hurdles as well. We'll have the 800 meter run, the 200 meter dash finals, and the 4x4 to wrap up action on the track, and still more action to come in the field this afternoon here on PCN. Teams are in the infield.
We have mentioned that there's been some great activity in the field already from yesterday and today, particularly in the javelin, some national, not national marks, but national throws. In other words, top 3 in the nation, top 7 in the nation. It's just been an outstanding day. A 13 feet even in the girls AA pole vault, which is one of the best in the nation. It's just been a great day. It really has. And we've been mentioning about the weather, and I don't want to keep harping on that, but can it be any nicer?
It can't be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just been a perfect day for track and field, and hopefully wherever you are in Pennsylvania this afternoon, you're enjoying similar great weather. Beautiful here in Shippensburg today. Here are the lane assignments for the AA boys 400 meter relay. We have Bedford in lane 1 with Mercer area in lane 2, Bloomsburg in lane 3, defending champion Elmer L. Myers in lane 4. Incidentally, Elmer L. Myers, their time yesterday was better than their winning time last year. Milton Hershey in lane 5, Aliquippa in lane 6, Farrell in lane 7, and Abraxas is in lane 8. 42.41 was the winning time last year for Elmer L. Myers. Let's keep in mind 42.27 for them yesterday, and the state records of 42.25 set by Harridan in 1995. So an excellent chance for Elmer L. Myers with a seed time a second better than anyone else to perhaps threaten and break that state record set by Harridan.
Love to see it. It's always nice to see those state records, but that's to be a second faster is pretty amazing. Just downright amazing in this event, because it's just not, it's not a lot of time to develop that big a lead, but yet they have been able to do it through their seed time. Now, again, did someone cruise when they were in the top 4, didn't worry about it, pulled back the accelerator a little bit and coasted in? That could have happened, so we can't always count on that, but we'll see what they do here.
Nonetheless, a 42.27 in prelims is a pretty stout seed time. Regardless, anyone else was running it around Elmer L. Myers. So we'll see what happens here. They'll attempt to break that 9-year-old state record as the teams jog onto the track.
You just saw a picture of the stands there. Yeah, there are a few empty seats, but not many.
Not many. Beautiful day. Great weather, great fans, as we always have here at Seth Grove Stadium. And some really scintillating action. Can't wait to show you some of the pole vault that we've had today. Later on, we'll have other action from the field coming up as soon as we're done on the track today. But this has been nearly letter perfect today in terms of conditions at Seth Grove Stadium.
And we'll remind you that PCM will be replaying this over the holidays. Matter of fact, you're looking at Memorial Day and it happens to be raining out, and we're talking about nice weather. Don't hold that against us.
Is it supposed to rain on Memorial Day?
Thunder showers,
that
possibility.
Would be a bummer.
You know how that is.
I have
Always
barbecue
the chance.
plans. That can't happen. Who cares about barbecue, though? We're talking about track and field. From the left to the right, it's Bedford, Mercer area, and Bloomsburg, as you see it there. Bedford coming out of District 5. I believe Bedford, this may be the only District 5 relay in the whole meet.
You may be right.
There you see the runner from Bloomsburg. They represent District 4. District 5, a very small district geographically and in terms of population. And the rest of the field, Milton Hershey, Elmer L. Myers. And you see on the backside there at the top of your screen, those will be the anchor legs, or I beg your pardon, the second legs as we advance to the front here. And this is the Abraxas runner in lane 8.
Now you talk about districts, there are 11 districts right now, and as we mentioned previously, the 12th district will enter next year and will change the whole complexion of state championships. It'll be more truer of a state championship, too, with the Philadelphia Public Schools now competing in the PIAA.
And a good start in lane 6 by Aliquippa. Milton Hershey also in there. And Elmer L. Myers starts to make up the stagger in lane 4. Remember, Elmer L. Myers has an excellent chance to break that state record set by Harriton 9 years ago. And Myers is eating up the stagger big time on the backstretch. Milton Hershey is there as well in lane 5. Bloomsburg starts to creep in lane 4. And still out there is Abraxas in lane 8. Coming into the final exchange zone now. And Elmer L. Myers is still in there. Elmer L. Myers makes the pass first, and now it's Elmer L. Myers against the clock. Elmer L. Myers, the defending state champion in this event. They come to the line, and Elmer L. Myers wins the gold medal, and we'll wait for the official time. They were definitely across in under 43, and we'll wait to see if that was indeed a state record effort. 42.25 was what they needed to set that state record. But
I didn't think they had a real good exchange between 1 and 2. Not bad, but not real good.
If there was a slip-up, that's probably where it was. But nonetheless, gold medal for Elmer L. Myers once again. Looked like second place went to Milton Hershey, but we'll wait for the replay and the official time. But Elmer L. Myers, whose seat time was more than a second better than anyone else coming into this event, certainly that held true. And that appeared to be a second better than anyone else in this boys 4x1 AA relay.
Well, the amazing thing is you were absolutely right. Second ahead, and they were a second ahead. There's their last 2 legs. And again, it's really hard to tell with a stagger sometimes where their moves are made, but those last 2 legs really ran well. Here comes their anchor down with, just completely in control of this race. And they pick up a huge one. Here you see it again. You don't see anybody around. There's no one within 10 yards of them. And that in itself is amazing. And the AAA boys 4x100. I'm not sure that we've ever seen anything quite that big of a blowout in the 4x100.
No. So we'll wait for the official time to see if that was indeed a state record. I don't think so, based on how they came across, but we'll see. We know one for sure has fallen today. The Lewisburg 3,200 meter relay team set a state record, broke a 23-year-old state record, as a matter of fact. We believe a state record has fallen in the boys mile run in AAA. That may have been a state record. Here are the lane assignments for the AAA boys 4x1. North Penn in lane 1 with Glen Mills in lane 2, William Penn in lane 3, West Mifflin, Cedar Crest, Harrisburg, Wissahickon, and Emmaus round out the field. Central Dauphin, the defending state champion in this event, not in it this year. North Penn was the runner-up last year to Central Dauphin. They're in lane 1. The top seed is West Mifflin. They ran a 42 flat yesterday.
Well, it's a wide open race anytime in this AAA race, but West Mifflin comes in. One would give them the upper hand in this one. They've just been running well all year. But actually has been, the favorites have won all 3 races so far.
Yes. Yeah, all the seeds have held. See the North Penn runner. They'll be in lane 1. Still have another relay coming up after this. The final event of the day will be the 4x4. It's the 4x1. Glen Mills will be in lane 2. Heavy District 1 and District 3 flavor to this North Penn, Glen Mills, and Wissahickon, all from District 1. William Penn, Cedar Crest, and Harrisburg, all from District 3. I would make a reasonable guess that we'll see Knowledge Timmons running anchor for William Penn, who come into this as the 3rd seed.
I'd be disappointed if it wasn't.
Timmons, of course, the state 100-meter champion after outdueling Andrew Johnson earlier today. Andrew Johnson will not be in this. Top seed West Mifflin in lane 4. State record of 41-14 set by Harrisburg in 1998. Honor roll standard of 41-5. Cedar Crest in lane 5.
On your marks.
And there it's, you might have been able to pick that up from the starter's microphone. Setting the runners down into their blocks now. And you notice the crowd just went quiet.
Set.
So after that dramatic tension, here we go. And William Penn making up that stagger in lane 6. Remember, we anticipate that Knowledge Timmons is going to be running anchor for William Penn. Let's see if his team can give him something to work with here. Harrisburg out there as well with William Penn, and North Penn starting to make it up a little bit too in lane 1 as we approach the halfway point. Wissahickon is there in lane 7. Good exchange. Cedar Crest in lane 5, and now Cedar Crest pulls up into the front. Cedar Crest getting pushed by Emmaus in lane 8. Here's the final exchange at Cedar Crest, and there's Timmons with the baton for William Penn. Not a great exchange, and Cedar Crest now trying to hold off West Mifflin. Cedar Crest and West Mifflin, they come to the line, and West Mifflin is going to win it. It looked like a bad exchange between Timmons and his teammate that took William Penn out of it, but honestly, this one was all Cedar Crest and West Mifflin in the first place.
Well, the anchor from West Mifflin ran a great leg, and you're right. They had the handoffs coming down the stretch. It was theirs. It was their race to lose, West Mifflin, and you see why they were been so successful with their anchor running that hard and that fast, and the handoffs were there. Timmons, by the way, made up some ground.
He did,
but it was just a little too much too late. Look at this. This is just Both of them running hard. And West Mifflin just with a step ahead. And you can see Timmons coming into the picture really quick to take third place.
Here's the exchange, and take a look at the left side of your screen. If you can see it, there's Harrisburg. They had the issue there. That was actually a cleaner exchange than I thought for Timmons.
Yeah, I just think they were out of it when the time came to that.
Yeah. Harrisburg was the team that had some issues. You saw their anchor having to look back to get the baton.
Yeah, once they look, the rhythm's broken and it's over as far as the clean sweep is. But and then something like this, that's all you need. Just something that little to take you out of the race.
So they're going to put the hurdles on the track for the 300. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be back, though, in just a second for more of the 2004 PIAA State Track and Field Championships live from Shippensburg on the Pennsylvania Cable Network.
Get your VHS or DVD of this PIAA championship. Visit our website at pcntv.com or call toll-free 1-866-PCN-VIDEO. All championships are $29.95, including shipping and sales tax. The best of the West meets the beasts of the East on Saturday, June 26th at Altoona's Mansion Park Stadium in the PSFCA All-Star Gridiron Classic. See why sports fans across the state call the PSFCA East-West All-Star Game the Pennsylvania Bowl. Tickets for the 4th Annual East-West All-Star Game are available through the Allegheny Mountains Convention and Visitors Bureau at 1-800-842-5866. East-West Game information is also posted online at www.eastwestgame.org. VHS and DVD copies of PCN programming are now available for purchase online. Visit the PCN store on our website at pcntv.com and browse through the library of hundreds of program offerings, tours, books, profiles, Gettysburg walks to World War II interviews, PIAA sports championships, and PCN merchandise. It's all just a click away. PCN offers a safe, secure shopping environment, so don't miss out. Visit the PCN store at pcntv.com today and get started on building your own personal PCN library. Now you and your family can discover how some of Pennsylvania's most recognized products are made without ever leaving your favorite armchair. PCN Tours is the first book published by the Pennsylvania Cable Network. Modeled after PCN's long-running program featuring manufacturing plants and landmarks, the book highlights 28 of the most requested tours and includes pictures along with the words of the tour guide. As a bonus, the book includes contact information for hundreds of locations featured on the television program. It's a chance to celebrate Pennsylvania's successes and learn about the production process from raw materials to finished products. Makes a great gift for family, friends, or even yourself. To get your own copy of the PCN Tours book, call toll-free 1-866-PCN-8433. The price includes shipping and state sales tax. That's 1-866-PCN-8433. You can also buy it from the PCN store on our website at pcntv.com. PCN Tours, celebrating Pennsylvania.
Seth Grove Stadium, Shippensburg University, live coverage of the 2004 PIAA Track and Field Championships continues here on PCN. Still have the 300 hurdles, the 800-meter run, the 200-meter dash, and the 4x4 relay, along with some field events from this morning to come until we say goodbye at 4 o'clock this afternoon. We're at Seth Grove Stadium. Of course, we love to hear your comments on our coverage. PCN at PCNTV.com is the email address, and we take those comments very seriously. So please get in touch with us if you'd like to give us your feedback on our coverage. Of course, we have added to it, including throws coverage. This will be our second year doing throws this year, and certainly happy to present that. Of course, if you'd like to do it over the phone, we'll take those too. 717-730-6004 as we transition back onto the track for the girls' 300-meter hurdles. As they have the track lined up and ready to go here for that event. They've gotten the help from the hurdles crew, and the hurdles crew has done their job, and we're just about set to go as you get a look at Claire Arabat of Wyomissing, who will start in the third lane. Dalen Cooney of Wellsboro, Jessica Sacken of Mohawk, and Arabon, as you see in lane 3, with Sigworth and Northeastern in lane 4, Snookus, Woods, Morecom, and Brown round out the field. So here we go. And in lane 4, Sigworth and Snookus in lane 5 trying to eat up the stagger as they clear the second set of hurdles. Still there in lane 8 is Ruth Brown. And now here comes Woods in lane 6 starting to make up some ground as well as they come to the 100-meter point. And in lane 5 it is Samantha Snookus of Nativity trying to hold off Woods in lane 6. And a late push by Sigworth in lane 4 as well. Coming up on the inside is Cooney in lane 1, but Snookus appears to have enough to hold everyone off as they come to the final set. Snookus clears it cleanly, and Snookus holds on to win.
Well, she scared me just a little bit there because it seemed like she came down off the hurdle and took a little step there, but then she was okay and finished it out. Snookus coming in as a top seed, was 6th in this thing last year, and ran a pretty decent time to win this one. Here she comes in. Now watch this. Okay, now I gotta go. So there it is. Tough race. We've always said that every time we watch this thing. There was some talk at one time just going to the 400 and making it like the college, but the 300 is tough enough when you put those barriers out. 8 barriers they have to go over, and they just get in the way. That's basically what happens, and you have to make sure you leap over them and then turn on the speed in between.
So Snookus with the victory. The senior will win a gold medal in her final interscholastic high school track meet. Happy faces there in the infield. Maybe some relief just to complete a 300-meter hurdle event, a very, very physically taxing event, as Greg alluded to. When you put those barriers in the middle of the track, 300 can look like a mile or two all of a sudden. So back to the track we go for the AAA 300-meter hurdles as some teams in the infield get ready to pack up and go home. Some teams will get back on the track this afternoon. Lane assignments for the AAA. Kim Morris of Plymouth Whitemarsh will be in lane 1 with Brianna Boyles of William Allen in lane 2. Shatira Snell of Penn Hills, who was the 100 hurdles champion, is in lane 3. Chanel Williams of Plymouth Whitemarsh in lane 4. Kristen Jones of Cumberland Valley in lane 5. Dana Haslett of Penn Ridge in lane 6. Jawanda Jackson of Chester in lane 7. Kim Chapman of Seneca Valley is in lane 8. The top 2 from last year were Tiffany Abney and Juliana Reed. Both have graduated. Micaiah Clemens of Penn Trafford was 3rd. She's not here this year, and we're underway.
Now the favorite in this one is in the 4th lane, Janelle Williams from Plymouth Whitemarsh. She ran a 44.02 earlier in the year. That's even faster than her seat time getting into this race.
State record of 42.11 set 2 years ago by Tiffany Abney. And in lane 5, Kristen Jones is there from Cumberland Valley as they come into the final 3 sets of hurdles. And everything looks clean so far. And now here comes Janelle Williams in lane 4. Trying to push her in lane 5 is Jones. And here comes Boyles in lane 2. But this one is all Janelle Williams. In lane 4, barring a catastrophe on the final set of hurdles, she's in good shape. She's through it cleanly. And that is a dominating effort for Janelle Williams to win the gold medal in the 300-meter hurdles.
I think you said it best. She did dominate that from start to finish. Her time's going to be excellent, too. It's going to be probably her fastest of the year. We'll have to wait for the officials on that one. But, you know, I don't know what point she took over, but it was, I mean, she, you know, once you gathered the staggers together, you could tell what was going on. She was way out in front.
800-meter round.
So Janelle Williams, meanwhile, the 100 hurdles champion, Shatira Snell, appeared to have pulled a muscle as she came into the finish line. Here's another look at the finish.
And it is it is tough. You got to get over that race and over that hurdle, and she landed on her toes right. You see the ones that land on the back of their feet sometimes are the ones that come up lame a little bit because it's hard to run. Her form is, here it is. It's just now get me across the line, and I won the race. And nothing. I mean, just from start to finish, she was in charge.
So Janelle Williams with a teammate in the infield, and she is the state champion Kim Morris, her teammate who ran in this event, accompanying her to the awards tent. And Janelle Williams wins a gold medal. So we'll raise the hurdles one notch, and we'll go to the boys AA 300 hurdles. Now may be as good a time as ever to explain the difference between low hurdles, intermediate hurdles, and high hurdles as they make these adjustments.
Well, it's I was going to say one's higher than the other, and basically what it is, the low, I can't tell you the exact height on them, but obviously low, medium, and high, and there's notches on those hurdles. They move up to the right locations.
For clarity's sake, we are at intermediate.
We're at intermediate at this point in time, yes.
All right. So AA will be first as always. We'll see Chris Morrissey, the top seed from Ligonier Valley in this. Morrissey ran a 38.79 yesterday. Caleb Hood, the defending champion, who's Morrissey's teammate from Ligonier Valley, has graduated. Jim Ross of Dunmore also graduated. He was second last year. Here are the lane assignments. Danny Weiss of Harridan is in lane 1. John Macheski of Lakeland in lane 2. Kelby McClelland of Mercer area in lane 3, and then Morrissey. Mike Mitchell of Smethport in lane 5. Andrew Gergen of Southside in lane 6. Spanish Alexander of George Junior Republic in lane 7, and Zach Pitzer of Fairfield is in lane 8.
And really, the only one back from last year is Mike Mitchell. He was third last year. The year before, he was fourth. And he's seeded second, so maybe he'll just do the natural progression and go to second as Morrissey is the top seed. But everybody else, some made it to the preliminaries, but not many made it to the final 8 last year.
State record is a 37.47. Tom Wise set that back in 1992. And the honor roll time at 37.60. The winning time last year was a 38.78, and Morrissey ran that yesterday, comparable time. Kelby McClelland, who had that great run in the 110 intermediate hurdles, back in it here in the 300. And of course, we'll see some of the 110 hurdles alumni as well in the AAA, although Tom Dance will not be in the 300 hurdles. The state champion in the 110 AAA will not run in the next race. But McClelland will, as you get a look at Morrissey in lane 4, our top seed, the senior from Ligonier Valley. What they're doing, by the way, the pause here is being caused because now they are running awards ceremonies between all the races. They are catching up with some field events and everything, so they don't want to be talking on the loudspeaker during the start of the event, in fairness to the athletes, so that's why we have a little bit of a delay.
Now they're ready to go with this in the 300. You know, one of the top 300 runners in the state is Mike Ray out of Central Philadelphia. Give you an idea, probably about the second fastest in the state. So he would be here making a difference as we try to figure out what kind of difference it'll be next year. Obviously, there's almost in every event someone from the Philadelphia schools that will impact this track and field meet. Not only that, but all PIAA championships next year.
No doubt. It starts next year, 2005. Here we go, underway in the AA 300 hurdles, and Mike Mitchell in lane 5 starts to make up the stagger. Morrissey is there as well in lane 4 up on the outside. Spanish Alexander and Zach Pitzer in lane 7 and 8 respectively making a push, and here comes Andrew Gergen in lane 6. But this is Mike Mitchell in lane 5 wearing the orange. In lane 3, Kelby McClelland starting to eat up some distance. Mitchell trying to hold everyone off in lane 5 with McClelland making a late run, and here comes Morrissey in lane 4. It's Mitchell and Morrissey as they come to the line, and it is going to be Mitchell in one of the closest races of the day.
They both hit hurdles. The last hurdle, the 8th set of hurdles there, and it was a matter of who wasn't going to go down, and I thought both were going to crash, but not the case. As Mitchell holds on to go from 3rd to 4th to 4th to 3rd to 1st, skipping 2nd place this year.
You saw him clip that last hurdle and you thought, oof, maybe that could be a disaster, but he held on to it nicely.
I thought also, and you see Morrissey do the same thing, and see they both go down, and actually the 3 of them there hit the hurdles. the hurdle, you know, as long as you don't interfere with anybody, that's okay. There you see him hit, and you see Morrissey hit. And actually, I think if Morrissey didn't hit, he might have pulled that one out. But the same could be said about Mitchell. If he wouldn't have hit that, he wouldn't have been in danger.
Now, for our viewers, it looks like Morrissey's head came across right at the same time as Mitchell's torso, but Mitchell's going to get the benefit of that.
Right, it is the torso. The head does not count. Might as well not even have the head. It doesn't count in that one. So
only in horse racing.
That's right.
does the head count.
That's right.
Good luck to Smarty Jones next week.
Yeah,
by the way. Out at
that's
the Belmont.
exciting.
He's a Pennsylvania horse.
That's right. We have to root for Pennsylvanians all the way.
So we'll move to the AAA 300 hurdles as you get a look at the field getting into their blocks. Can't really get much better of a finish than what we just saw in AA, but the AAA field will sure try. Mike Murphy of Cocalico will be in lane 1. Justin Blum of North Pocono in lane 2. Ozzie Brown of Plymouth Whitemarsh in lane 3. Tyrone Mitter of Altoona, the top seed in lane 4. 38.54 yesterday. Tobias Robinson of Cedar Crest in lane 5. Nathan Shattuck of Clearfield in lane 6. Tyler Culp of Boyertown in lane 7. Shane Whitehead of Palmyra, I should say, in lane 8. 36.94, the state record set in 1989. Jason Kremis of Northampton set that.
Interesting enough, Shattuck is the only one returning from the top 8 from last year, where he finished in the number 8 position.
Phil Atkinson, the defending champion from Strathaven, won it in a 37.66 last year.
He was just a junior last year, but he's hurt and out this year. Didn't get a chance to come back and repeat his championship.
And everyone else in last year's race was a senior, aside from Shattuck,
right,
who's back in it this year.
Shattuck came in with the top seed time, but before the trials, and the starter has them down in their blocks, ready to go here for the final 300 intermediate hurdle race of the day.
And all fair starts today. We have had, I believe, one false start today, and that came in a prelim in the 100. Making up the stagger in lane 7 is Tyler Culp of Boyertown. He ran the 110 hurdles earlier today, and Culp making a pass now on the outside. Here comes Shane Whitehead in lane 8, and through everyone is Robinson in lane 5, taking Mitter with him as well in lane 4. And in lane 6, Shattuck is still there as they come into the final couple sets. Tyrone Mitter of Altoona clear of everyone. Here's Tyler Culp of Boyertown. Mitter lost his balance. And here comes Culp in lane 7, and Culp is going to win it. Oh, what a shame for Mitter, who had that race easily, and he lost his balance on the second to last set of hurdles, and it cost him the race.
That one he's going to see 1,000 times over, unfortunately, because it was his at that point in time. But you know, that's it. You put the hurdles there, and it's what you have to clear them. And when fatigue starts setting in, it's so hard to just not get that leg over, and that's what happened. And sometimes you recover, and sometimes you don't. And he didn't recover, and Culp took advantage of it and slid in there for the win. I'm not even sure that you're going to see it coming here. He just hit it up and then couldn't regain balance to actually...
He's out of his lane.
He's out of his lane, but he did not interfere with the other runner. So no advantage was gained, particularly on the straightaway. See, if the runner been there and he ran into him, that he would have been disqualified for that. And you see Culp coming up the side, and then it's a matter, I said here, second was close.
Yes. Shane Whitehead in lane 8 from Palmyra. But you have to feel bad for Mitter. I mean, that's just one of those unlucky bounces, unlucky breaks of the hurdles, and Mitter is going to have to settle for something less than the gold medal it appeared as though he won. But certainly to take nothing away from Culp, a great effort out of him in lane 7 to win gold.
Now, the worst thing that Tyrone's going to be doing is watching the replay of this and seeing that he had that, and just another hurdle to go, and it's all his. But unfortunately, as you said, we talked a little bit in the beginning of the broadcast. This meet brings about like every emotion comes out, and the disappointment there that you'll see, that you have seen from Tyrone Mitter, you know, that's just part of it. And then you have Culp, who thought, well, I'm not going to win this one, and all of a sudden he is the gold medal winner.
So while one senior anguishes in the infield, another senior heads to the awards podium to collect his gold medal. Still to come, the 800-meter run, the 200-meter dash, and the 4x400-meter relay, and events from the field. On the air until 4 o'clock this afternoon at Seth Grove Stadium in Shippensburg. They are a little bit ahead of schedule, so expect a few natural walls here and there. And so they don't give anybody a fair or unfair advantage or disadvantage by making an athlete go back onto the track too soon. Boy, full house here, and they go all the way up to the railing. A lot of those people on the rail are watching the pole vault right now. In fact, some of them right at the front of the rail may actually be pole vault coaches. Of course, the pole vault coaches are not allowed in that pole vault pit area, so often they have to coach from the opposite end of the track.
Yeah, but they do allow them inside the. You see, there's a gated fence. There's gates up, and then there is the fence, and they let the pole vault coaches in there so that they can help out with instructions on that. It was interesting in watching this event. There was a helmet or two being worn. We had talked a couple years ago, thinking that may become the norm, but it has not, and certainly the deaths in pole vaulting has decreased over the last couple of years. And you know, we talked about all the officials involved, but there is a group of officials underneath the bleachers here that weigh in all the implements and make sure all the implements are legal. They check everybody's pole to make sure it's certified before you're allowed to use that pole and the pole vault. It certainly is a lot safer than the sport was 10 years ago, and but with that, it takes a lot of officials to do the job and to keep this thing going.
So we wait for the 800-meter run as the AA boys pole vault competition continues in the field. There's still some other business in the field as well. They're still going with the high jump. And fortunately, none of that action had to be moved inside the Higas Fieldhouse this year. Triple jump, let me see here. Girls triple jump still going on in the field right now. Plenty of action here at Seth Grove Stadium. And they'll be getting going again on the track momentarily. Like I said, just trying to naturally hold up action to give the athletes enough time to recover and create a level playing field. Shippensburg University has been a fantastic host once again this year, as they are every year. Of course, you can give us some feedback on our coverage, PCN at PCNTV.com, our email address. We look at every email.
I'd like to remind you that you can find out the results by checking out the PIAA.org website. They're running the results just about as quick as they can get them up, and you can see how your favorite athlete has done in today's event, particularly those who do not finish in the top 1, 2, or 3. It's real easy for us to let you know what happened there, but if they're on down the list a little bit, it's a great way to check out how things are happening.
This guy is one of the best seats in the house here. He's in the infield. He's got an umbrella to keep him in the shade. And as his beach chair going, it's just a fantastic day, as we've mentioned a couple times here. Great conditions for this track meet. Very little breeze. The temperature, it's not too hot. It's in the lower 70s. Not a lot of humidity. Few clouds here and there, but for the most part, it's just been absolutely gorgeous here in Cumberland County, Shippensburg, for the 2004 PIAA State Track and Field Championships.
It has been here for a long, long time. This, by the way, the 80th running of the PIAA Track and Field Championships. It moved from Penn State to Shippensburg, I think it's a quarter of a century ago at least, and just has been they have found a home here at Shippensburg, and it has worked out real well for everybody involved.
And it looks like we're finally going to resume action now with the girls' AA 800-meter run as they come out of the warm-up tent, and then they'll make their jog up to the start-finish line. Top seed is Caitlin Urban of Westmont Hilltop in this event. Ran a 2:16.46 state record set back in 1982, a 2:09.68. And Janetta Clark, of course, has the national record set in 1980 at 2:04.50. Not a lot of people have left here at Seth Grove Stadium, and they are smart to stay because we have a great matchup in the 200 coming up Obviously, the 4x4, anything can happen there. All the team races still too close to call, still up for grabs. And we'll come down to the final couple field events to determine that. In all 4 classifications, unlike previous years where you'd have teams running away with it. Not the case this year. Here are the top seeds. And the AA girls 800-meter run, as I mentioned, Urban the top seed with a 2:16.46 yesterday. Lewis, who valiantly came back to take third in the mile run earlier this afternoon in AA. The second seed, she starts on the outer with Kate Vernon of Gwinnett Mercy, Allie Briggs of Washington, Tony Ortiz of Iroquois, Kelly McGrath of Gwinnett Mercy, and Whitney Slaybaugh of Biglerville. And starting on the inner will be Orban along with Faye Korich of Springfield, Cassandra Spittler of Montoursville, Ashley Keck of Fairview, Molly Smathers of Clarion, and Eliza Shabanowitz of Lewisburg. 2 laps. As you get a look at those starting on the outer, saw Slaybaugh go by McGrath, and now there's Ortiz and Briggs of Washington, Vernon. Here we go.
Vernon trying to do it 2 years in a row for the junior, and you know, with her teammate McGrath is just came into the preliminaries 3rd seed. They just really have a, you know, again, that was the same group that ran that 4x8, so it should be another really good race. Corage was 2nd last year. Caitlin Urban was 4th last year, but 2nd the year before. McGrath 8th last year. They're the top 4 seeds coming in, so it's anybody's race in this one.
Luce wants to come right to the front, though, and she takes Corich with her. Coming down on 1 lap to go now in this 800. Luce wearing the yellow. She is a freshman. And now making a pass on the outside is Spittler of Montoursville, the sophomore.
Again, a young crew. Distance running girls, young crew.
Spittler and Faye Korich, the top 2, and now a hard push on the outside coming from the top seed, Urban. And Urban tucks in behind Korich in 3rd. 1 lap to go, and Kate Vernon is very much in it as well from Gwinnett Mercy. Went out in a 1:09, it appeared.
That was a little quicker than that. I think it was about a 67 for them. So we'll see what happens here. I think this is where the race is going to be right now. You got about 6 of them there that's in possible contention.
Here comes Vernon on the outside wearing the red. Korich trying to follow suit, but Urban comes from the, or beg your pardon, Vernon comes from the outside to make the pass, and now Korich right around her trying to push back into the lead, and in comes Caitlin Urban, the top seed, really pushing it in 3rd. Korich passes back on Vernon. Korich now has the lead with 200 meters to go, and Korich starts to pull away. We'll see if Vernon can reel her in as Urban tries to make a push to get back into that lead pack, but it looks like her efforts are going to fall short. It is Faye Korich and Kate Vernon. Korich in the blue and white, Vernon in the red. They come down to the line. Here comes Urban with a very late push coming around Korich, and it is going to be Vernon at the line, just edging out Korich.
Same as last year, 1-2, Vernon and Korich. And Vernon, I had to admit, I didn't think she had that in her. I thought at the time Korich was going to hold her off because she made the move last. But Vernon must save something up coming down that little stretch there. Vernon did a smart thing over on the 3rd turn right after the 200 mark. She kept Korich out on the outside for just a little bit and then left her pass and made the move. Here's where she makes her move, and she just has enough left in the gas tank there to pull out coming down the stretch, and it's going to nip Korich just by, you see it there. It's just really, really close, and a great race from the 2 of them to pick up 1st and 2nd once again here in the AA girls. And same part of the race, different view. And we won't have to go to the FAT, but it's a close race, closer than what we saw in the 4x100 sometime.
Yeah, no doubt. Especially by 800-meter standards, a very close finish, but it is Kate Vernon of Gwinnett Mercy continuing her very strong day. She'll add to her gold medal total with another victory. And for Korich, it is another silver, but both are juniors and both will return next year.
You know, we talk a lot about the FAT. It's a fully automatic timing, and what it does, it is fully automatic. That's why, thus the name. The starter will trigger the timing device by his gun and a mechanism that he has in his hand there. You can see the string coming down from the gun when you get a chance to it from some time. It goes over to a computer that will automatically time the runners as they come, and they can determine and slow it down and get an exact time and exact place. Doesn't matter how close they are, they're able to determine. So it is fully automatic. There are people down there pushing stopwatches. They are backup in case the FAT doesn't work.
It's all the top seeds for the AAA 800-meter run. Liz Cairns of Central Bucks West is the top seed. Fia York, Marissa Pizzini, Sarita Lachesis, Nicole Murphy, Jordan Bauman, Melissa Ferry, Adriana Boyle, Jen Gray, Megan Hutchinson, Emily Bean, and Abby Dublin Roden round out the field. Defending champion Jan Way of Warwick has since graduated. Caitlin Klass was a sophomore last year, runner-up to Way, but is not in the field this year. 2 laps to go, obviously, or 2 laps in this 800, and there's Jen Gray, along with Marissa Pinzini of Cheltenham. They are the top 2 as we approach the 500-meter mark. Jen Gray of Cumberland Valley.
Gray wasn't in this race last year, but Persini was 4th last year and 10th as a sophomore.
And up the outside comes Cairns along with Fina York. This is really anyone's race here. 1 lap to go. They went out in a 106, 107 pace. And it continues to be Jen Gray on the inside, holding off everyone. Jen Gray of Cumberland Valley. Pizzini is there. Cairns now starting to make her push. We're on the backstretch now.
And still, you're right, it's still anybody's race. No one has moved ahead here in this part of the race.
And now, coming up the middle is York. This is the 800 meters, and now hard up the outside comes the top seed, Cairns of Central Bucks West, the top seed, who ran a 2:12.62, and Cairns now starts to shift into another gear. Cairns, who is just a freshman, going for her first career gold medal at the PIAA meet. She takes the second seed, Melissa Ferry, with her. Can Cairns hold off Ferry? Here's a late push again by Gray behind everything. Cairns trying to hold everyone off as they come to the final 10 meters, and the freshman from Central Bucks West begins her career with a gold medal.
And bless her heart. That's a great race, too. That was truly a great race as Cairns just came out of the fold at about the 200 mark. Just let everybody else, you know, and I have to give her credit being headsy for a freshman, because she let everybody else run the race, and then she says, I got some speed here, I'll use it in the final 200, and that's what she did. Picks up the win. Amazing.
And a good come from behind effort by Ferry to charge back and take second. There's another look at the finish, and at this point, still really anyone's race. But Cairns pulls ahead.
Yeah, arms are pretty well spread there, but she's just running on energy right now, just trying to get down there and say, let me finish this race, because I think I can win this. And I don't know if it'll sink in how big of a win she just pulled off or not, but there it was. AAA girls, and didn't catch the time, but it had to be a decent time. They went through in 67, and she moved out a little later after that.
I think it was around a 2:13. We'll wait for the official results when they post them. Another Chris Spooner display here in the AA Boys 800. He was the top seed at a 1:55.58. We'll start on the inner with Adam Stockholm of Tulpa Hawk and Josh Hoffman of Eastern Lebanon County. Brendan Kearney of Trinity, Josh Fritz of Northwest Area, and Chris Moreau of Lewisburg. Adam Smith, the number 2 seed, starts on the outer for Camp Hill, along with Tim Majewski, Matt Vesmal, Kevin Schofelder, Steve Delaquilla, and Craig Wahaki. 2 laps here in the 800. And for Spooner, he already has a relay gold medal. He already has the individual gold in the 1600. Can he get gold medal number 3 here in the 800?
Well, I really think he can, but I can't think that he's going to do what he did in the 1600 and just blow everybody out right now. I think this will, you know, there's a little bit more speed, obviously, in the 800, and they're just going to look at him. They just want to settle behind him.
Well, Spooner has the lead, but Stockholm with Tulpa Hawken doing a good job to stay with him. 600 meters to go, and Spooner has the lead. Adam Smith in there as well, and here comes Matt Weismall of Kutztown in behind him for second. 500 meters to go. Chris Spooner going for his third gold medal of the afternoon. He was part of the 4x8 relay state record-setting team, and Spooner now, as we get a look at his split time with 1 lap to go, was out in a 57 flat. So let's see what Spooner has left in the tank here as the rest of the field tries to catch up with him.
Yeah, that's probably about a 54, maybe even a 53. He's run a 52.35 already back in April, the 30th of April. Taken off in the 200, still running hard again.
There's a push by Kearney coming up on the outside, and Stockholm still there from Tulpa Haken, and now the field starts to catch up a little bit to Spooner. Adam Smith of Camp Hill makes a late push. Spooner, who cruised in the mile, has his hands full here in the 800. 200 meters to go. Does Spooner have enough to hold off everyone else? Josh Hoffman is in there as well. Spooner of Lewisburg. And here comes Matt Weismall again from Kutztown. Weismall nipping at the heels of Spooner. Now Spooner finds a source of energy, and Spooner takes off. Chris Spooner of Lewisburg has won his third gold medal of the afternoon, winning the 800 in sub 154 time.
Well, there's one thing about Spooner. He leaves no doubt. Start to finish, he is in the lead. And when he needed to turn it on, when Weismall came through, he just turned it on. It was just showed his strength. I thought the way he looked at about the 200 to go mark that maybe he could be caught. And I'm just thinking, well, okay, the 1600 he ran, no wonder he's tired. And then all of a sudden coming down the stretch, 100 to go, bang, turned into overdrive, and here it comes. This is when it looks like it's still a race here. Looks like, wow, he could be caught, but now you see him going, starting to get up on his toes. He's driving his arms back and forth, lifting his knees up high, and he's just sprinting and just running for what it's worth, and no one's going to catch him. And he, you know, it's a reason we've been talking about Keith Spooner this weekend. He has proven it, shown it, that he is the top of the class here in double A. There's no doubt about it.
And that's going to provide some good team points for Lewisburg as well. Not totally sure what the team standings look like right now, but as we said, it's not going to be decided until the final field event is carded for the day. It is wide open as we take a look at the top seeds for the AAA Boys 800. Ken King of Connellsville with his seed time being a 1:55.09. He'll start on the inner with Matt Gould of Hatboro-Horsham, Mac Brickley of Greater Latrobe, Rob Blum of Southwestern, Andy Miller of Cedar Crest, and Andy Beggs of Sun Valley. On the outer, it'll be John Bellaris of Shaler, along with Steve Cargile of Manheim Township, John Fulgnini of Cumberland Valley, Matthew Danish of Red Lion, Ben McConnell of Danville, and David Adewumi of State College. And we are underway. Matt Warco, defending champion, has graduated. In fact, the top 9 from last year were all seniors. So new blood infused into this event this year. And out in front is King, the top seed from Connellsville, with Matt Gould pushing him on his outside. Gould is wearing the blue and red, and King, the top seed, in the lighter blue. In the mix as well is Denish of Red Line. Now halfway through it now, Ken King continues to hold the lead, and now here comes Denish of Red Lion. Denish makes the pass at the start-finish line. There is 1 lap to go. And Denish takes the lead. Here comes Brickley of Greater Latrobe as well, and King is still in the mix. Matthew Denish, who was the 8th seed, starting to pull away now.
Went through in a 54. It's a quick 400 time, but something they can withstand.
Matthew Denish of Red Line. Can he hold everyone off? This is quite a kick for him in the backstretch. Ken King still pushing it, as is John Bellaris now of Shaler. He's creeping into it. But Ken King still falling back, and it is Matthew Denish in the lead. Denish was the number 8 seed coming into this event.
This is going to be good coming down the stretch. Here they come.
Matt Gould of Hatboro-Horsham pushing him, and now coming up on the outside, here comes Ken King as Denish starts to run out of gas. Here's Ken King taking the lead. King to the front. Can King hold off everyone? They come to the line with a late push by Bellaris, but it will be King winning it in the 800.
Well, King looked good coming around. When he went behind the yellow tent, I thought, okay, he's not in too bad a shape here. And Dennis, not only did he run the last 400 hard, he started about 50 yards up the track coming on the first lap. So he made it about, I'm going to say about 20 yards short of what he wanted to do. But then the speed caught up to him, and Ken King just came around the end and knew what he was doing and turned it on. And the junior picks up the gold medal in the 4x8. Did not see the winning time, 1:53.95 unofficially up on the board, and that's not a bad time either.
Not at all. Here's another look at the finish.
Yeah, and you see now, by this time, that really Dennis is done. Unfortunately, he's ran a great race. He tried to take it out and win it and draw everybody with him, but here comes King. King with a little look over his shoulder both ways. Wants to make sure that Balearis isn't running him down. And I think Balearis does take second, and Dennis probably holds on for fourth or fifth there. At least he'll get a medal out of it.
I think Gold ended up taking third, and I believe Dennis will be fourth. I'll wait for them to post the official results in a moment.
Yep, there it is coming down, and except for the little look behind, King's in control. About 153, 154 was his time.
And the junior from Connellsville wins the gold medal in that event. Still to come, the 200-meter dash and the 4x400-meter relay. Live action on the track here on PCN from Seth Grove Stadium at Shippensburg, and still to come as well. Plenty of action from the field. They're going to delay the meet momentarily. I don't even think they've made the final call yet for the girls 200-meter dash, at least in AAA. So we are going to kind of be in a holding pattern here as, again, like we've said, the officials try to make an effort to not create an unfair situation for athletes who want to compete in one event and stay out of another, or compete in both. And also they want to give the people on the award stand their just due as well.
We're not too far ahead of schedule. I mean, it's about right on, but it's still the need to slow it down a little bit and get everybody ready to go from the 200. And really, you know, once the 200s roll around, actually the meet is nearly over. The neat thing about the 4x4s, because in most dual meets that you go to, it's whoever's left staying on the track has to run it. In this one, these guys are serious about the 4x4s, and it's a great little race. And a lot of times it comes down to who's going to win the state championship. And if we can get some point totals on that, that would be great to give us an idea who is winning in this. Now we think Lewisburg has a lot of points and know that they do, but we're not really sure about the other teams. So that comes into play by that 4x400. So don't go away. Don't leave now.
I mean, all classifications. You mentioned Lewisburg and AA boys, but really all classifications, boys and girls, it will not be over until the final event in the field is carded. Meanwhile, we continue to watch some AA pole vault action going on in the field right now, and also some high jump going on out in the high jump pit right now. So the field events are continuing uninterrupted, and the AA girls have made it out to the track now for the 200-meter dash, which will begin in a moment. Want to remind you, of course, you can email us at PCNTV, PCNTV.com. And the comment line, 717-730-6004. I'd love to hear your feedback on our fourth year of track and field championship coverage here on PCN. Hard to imagine we've been at this for 4 years now.
No, that's true. I can remember the very first year, and you know, we started at 9 o'clock and still here at 4 o'clock and thinking, how can we ever do that? But really now it goes by so quickly. Once they get to this stage of the game, might give you an idea about team points needed. Bethlehem Catholic won the AA boys last year with a mere 38 points. And then in the AAA it was Pennsbury with just 31 points. And the AA girls, Milton Hershey, who dominated, had 70 points. And in the AAA girls, Marion Mercy had 44. So, you know, if you can score 50 points, it's in pretty good shape. So you look at a team like Lewisburg, who we know has 30 points right now, and with a chance to win another one, 40. they're standing good. So it doesn't take a lot of points. And you're right, it comes down to that last race because 10 points is offered for the winner of the relay. So it can change the whole outcome of the meet.
So the AA girls 200-meter dash, you saw the lane assignments. Katie James of Nativity in lane 1, Usha Ufadil of St. Pius X in lane 2, Audie McKenna of Delaware County Christian in lane 3, Mary Dell of Boiling Springs in lane 4, Lacey Cochran of Freeport, who was the runner-up last year to Candace Ferguson, is in lane 5, Kate Funk of Titusville in lane 6, with Rachel Moxley of Littlestown in lane 7, and Abby Montgomery of Lewistown in lane 8. Dell with the top seed time, a 25:67 this morning. State record by Lauren Williams 4 years ago, 23:85.
And sometimes they have to delay because they're trying to come up with results and reading the ends of reading the fully automatic timing device, and they have to slow things down. But not really, you know.
Well, they should be ready here. I mean, they've had everybody get down on the infield. They've stopped the pole vault, so the tent can see the starter. So it's all in the starter's hands now. And
yeah,
they're ordered onto the blocks.
There they go. This will be Tina Sundberg is the starter for the AA girls, and she'll call them to their position now.
There you see Tina. And Abby Montgomery in lane 8. Lane 8 on the left side of your screen, lane 1 on the right side of your screen if you're just joining us. 200 meters for the gold medal.
Though we thought they were ready, back up they come.
Now there was a public address announcement, and the starter pulled everybody off the blocks so as to ensure for a fair start. Last thing you want to see is a DQ, especially in the final. We're going to try it again now.
You mentioned there only one that we saw today. Yesterday there was some also, but one today, and one that was a false start, but they called him back and let everybody run.
And a fair start here, and a good jump by Kate Funk of Titusville in lane 6, making up that stagger. 100 meters to go now, and here comes Mary Dell in lane 4. Dell is a sophomore from Boiling Springs, and Dell starts to open it up now. Mary Dell in lane 4 with the push coming from Funk in lane 6, but Mary Dell clearly ahead of everybody despite the late push by Cochran. Mary Dell, what an effort.
That was a great run from the sophomore. You know, some thought that she had just, where'd she come from? Now, she was here last year finishing 6th in that 100-meter dash, but she's just really come on this year and has won just about everything she's been in. And now, really, it's somewhat a surprise pulling out the 200 win here as the sophomore for the AA girls. So Mary Dell with a nice race. And I really believe that she just led from the start. She looked like she got out really well, and you saw her coming around the turn in first place, and here she comes down with really no one around. That was a big win for her.
Yeah, Mary Dell, and that's going to be about a half-second differential on the victory, pending the examination of the FAT crew. But Mary Dell wins the 200 as a sophomore. And Boiling Springs gets a gold medal on the track this afternoon. And she walks back to the infield with Lacey Cochran, who will settle for runner-up honors for the second straight year. And the fans here awaiting the AAA girls 400-meter run. Once again, they are slowing down the meet as much as possible to ensure fairness for anybody who's just coming off the track, and also to give people on the awards podium their just attention. And in the meantime, for most of these young women, their days are over. Some of them may be back for the 4x4. And here in the last hours of the state track and field meet, you start to see the pole vaulters pack up and everybody collapse the tents and get ready to go. But in this case, this year, with so much on the line and the 4x4 in the final field events of the day, No cause to go anywhere yet. The team race very, very much uncertain right now. As you get another look at Tent City, starting to wean out a little bit. And here's one way to keep cool, although it's not too terribly hot out there today.
Not real fashionable because I don't really think they match, but that's okay.
No. Is that a beige or a pink?
We'll go with the pink.
Boy, I don't know. I mean, with a white T-shirt, fashion faux pas there.
Yeah, there you. Oh, well, where's the fashion police when you need them?
Well, there's Melissa Miller, and she will be the number 2 seed in the AAA 200-meter dash. And she walks up to the starting area.
Well, Mike, while we have a chance, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Don Rich from Penn Track Cross Country, Penn Track XC, the website. He does a wonderful job in keeping track and field up to date in Pennsylvania and cross country as well, and it's a very great source of information, and he's been always willing to help out with the information. Rod Frisco, also of the Harrisburg Patriot, with providing me with some information just to help us out here on the broadcast. And I think the local medias all around the state have done an excellent job of covering the state meet too, giving it its due. Some big spreads in a lot of the papers from yesterday.
We'd be totally lost without the local media all over the state. They've really done a great job covering track and field this year. Just to get you up to date on some of the official winning times that have now been posted. Mary Dell's official winning time in the 200 was 25:39. Spooner's official winning time in the AA 800-meter run was a 1:54.27. Karen's official winning time in the AAA girls 800 was a 2:12.98. And Keith Vernon's official winning time at 2:15.01 in the AA girls 800. They still have not posted the official winning time in the boys AAA 800. You can get all those real-time results online, by the way, at the PIAA website, PIAA.org. So they have the athletes back on the track for the AAA girls 200. State record set by Krista Simpkins of Wissahickon last year, 23:97. And Simpkins, who was a sophomore last year, not in it this year. As you look at the field, Charlize Davis of Oakland Catholic in lane 1, Krishana Baxter of Cheltenham in lane 2, Caitlin Brown of Shenley in lane 3, Bridgeford, who is the top seed in this event, already with a win in the 100 earlier today. Melissa Miller of Athens in lane 5, Simone Carter of Penwood in lane 6, Ashley Hodge of Carlisle in lane 7, and Sierra Rossum of William Penn is in lane 8.
Well, Bridgeford was really a great race in the 100, and also in her leg of the 4x100 will be have to be considered one of the favorites here, no doubt, not only because she's sitting in lane 4, but just because of what she's done so far. And shame Simpkins not here, because she came in with one of the top times in the state prior to the district meets, when ran a 23:4, which was really almost 0.9 seconds ahead of Bridgeford. That's before the district meets rolled around. But those hamstring injuries will sneak up on you and catch you, and not much you can do about them. One day they just go.
At least you're fashionable if you have a hamstring injury this year.
That's right.
Everybody's got them.
Yeah.
You know, it's the unfortunate new trend in track and field this year, and it is really kind of whittled down the field a little bit here at the state track meet this year. But I think all in all, I mean, yeah, we've had some notable scratches and an unfortunate false start yesterday with Johnson not being able to go in the 200 today against Timmins. But, you know, for the most part, this has been a really outstanding meet with a lot of competitive races and some outstanding times, with at least one state record on the track going down today and many state records collapsing in the field both yesterday and today. They're on the blocks now for the AAA Girls 200. Lane 8 on the left side of your screen, lane 1 on the right side of your screen. And a good start in lane 5 by Miller, who got away nicely along with Bridgeford in lane 4. And Rossum got off nicely in lane 8 as well. But Bridgeford in command as they make the turn. Look at Jania Bridgeford stretching out in front of everybody. Here's a push coming from Carter in lane 6 and Hodge in lane 7. But Bridgeford well clear as Miller of Athens makes a late push. But Jania Bridgeford comes up with the double. The 100 and the 200 gold medals for Jania Bridgeford of Upper Darby.
Now, I'm going to say this, and Jania will understand, not the smoothest looking form in the world, but she gets the job done. It looks like she's laboring just a little bit, and but wow, she can run. There's no doubt about that. It's hunched over a little bit, and here you see her coming down, but and this doesn't do it justice so much. It's okay. I mean, she's running really well. She does have that wrap above up there around the thigh, so. But she's taking a look there to make sure everything's okay, and she comes through with another gold medal. So who am I to say anything about that, right?
Bridgeford has had a remarkable day on the track today. With so many individual spectacular efforts today. Bridgeford certainly on that list. 2 gold medals now individually, the 100 and the 200. AAA titles for Jania Bridgeford of Upper Darby. And she almost earned her team a victory in that 4x1 running anchor for them. Really made up a lot of distance in a losing effort to Penn Hills in that race.
Might have been her greatest race of the day. Really, it's hard to tell, but she ran a real great race there to bring them back into contention. And so she's scoring some points for them. And they're going to get some points as toward the team championship.
AA boys 200-meter dash will be coming up in a minute or two. Let's talk again about this Philadelphia influence, because the state track and field meet next year is going to be different in many different ways. I mean, the obvious difference that people will notice next year is you're going to have some new athletes from some new schools, and it's going to be great for the meet in that respect. And it's also going to lead to a slight expansion of the meet as well next year.
Well, you're going to see Friday perhaps be a little bit busier with the trials and the preliminary runs, and the other part of that is it will give athletes a little bit more time to rest between their different events on Friday. I don't think you'll see so much a change on Saturday.